I grew up with dial-up, and how dial-up works is like, it's like the slowest connection you can get, and you can't use your phone line, like landline. I don't know if you know what that. I'm sure you would because you're older than me. Like,
oh yeah, no, I remember dial-up and
yeah.
like listening to the.
Yes, yes. That was. I love that sound effect, but it's kind of a horror when you think about it because of how slow the internet is when you hear it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I remember it would take, like, what, 20 minutes for a page to load sometimes.
Yes, and a YouTube video. My mom, I remember, was trying to do online college back when it was like first becoming a thing in like 2009. It was not fun. She had to load and like watch a minute and 10-second YouTube video, and she was loading at the lowest quality too, and it took like, I'm gonna say an hour just to watch the whole thing, maybe even longer.
Yeah, YouTube videos back in the day, we would literally leave them. Like, we would open the page, leave them, and then just go back to it later. Remember.
Right, exactly. I'm kind of remembering old experiences of seeing like fake Smash leaks online. Now that I think about it, when I was watching a bad dial-up internet, and I would browse the internet. I would get hyped for the 3DS. I remember, like, oh man, look at these images of Super Mario 3D Land or something. I was just so hyped. But eventually, like a year later, my parents, I begged them for like years on end, let's get better internet, and they finally found the thing, satellite internet. It was good for 2 years until, I need more, speed for YouTube videos and streaming and online classes and stuff. I mean, it works. It's just slow.
Yeah, it's really slow.
Not as slow as a dial-up, which is like beyond snail speed.
Yeah, a lot of the viewers probably, like, they're probably too young to remember dial-up, the horror story that is dial-up.
I mean, yeah, I probably wouldn't know what dial-up is. What's interesting about my generation is I was born in 2000, but
we're the same generation. It's just that I was born closer to the millennials.
I was supposed to be born in 1999. Yeah, we're basically like, post-millennial feel. But like, what's nice about ours is like we can pick either like the current one, the older one, or we can be in between, which is nice. Like we can be a part of it. And I feel like I grew up with a bit of the older stuff. My parents really loved the 90s stuff. Like my attic room I sleep in has a CRT still and a bunk bed. So you can't get more 90s than that.
Yeah.
But I knew a lot of the older culture stuff, and like, I tend to be, I favor, even to this day, I favor like older video game stuff like that, and I would consider myself, I like to hang out with like the older kids, you could say.
Yeah, my Ben is actually like that too. He likes older video games and like, he especially loves that N64. Like, he literally bought the Virtual Console the other day for the Wii U to buy like DK64 and Kirby 64,
yes.
which we don't have. We have both of them for the N64, but he wanted it for the Wii U.
He was telling me about that. He was saying about how he wanted to try to 100% the game in like a few days too, and he's like, I was just trying to show off to Icy. I'm like, oh, Ben.
He's a big, that's what I mean. He's a dork.
Oh man.
Love him.
I need to beat DK64 still, but I was recording it with friends, and I feel like it's better. Not during this time though. It's not better. It's better to record with friends for that game anyways, because I had a friend who grew up with the N64. He's like a year older than me, but he grew up with the N64. He got it from a friend, and DK64 was his child, and he was like, oh, I should introduce you to it. I'm like, I've heard of the game. I've seen the completionists play it before. I wouldn't, and now I know that you and Ben are into it. It seems like a great game. I've played it for a few hours with my friend, but we got to finish that recording when quarantine gets completely over.
Yeah. It's probably one of my favorite N64 games, not gonna lie. Like, I never played... Okay, another blasphemy time, because I never played Banjo when I was younger.
I didn't either.
But, like, Banjo's, like, one of my favorite people to play on Smash, and, like, I was one of the people who was like, Banjo for Smash! But, I've never played the actual Banjo games.
Same.
I have two now, because I found it at a Goodwill.
Oh, nice.
Banjo Tooie. Actually, the worker there seemed really annoyed because it looked like they wanted it. But...
Oh, I know those cases. Like, I'm at a retro game store that's like close. Surprisingly, there's one near my house, even though it's bad internet. And they, like, the game people there, they buy up all the good stuff. It used to not be like this. And I remember one time I was picking up like Pokemon Coliseum. They were so annoyed I was getting that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like one of those moments. But like, But I've never played Banjo before that, and this was like a couple years back. I still haven't finished Banjo Tooie. Should, because it was a lot of fun. But I forgot my point of the story.
You said about how you grew up with the N64.
Oh, yeah. So, nope, I still don't remember.
Banjo, DK. I don't know.
I was talking about something about like how much I love DK64, and I went on a tangent about Banjo.
I was saying about originally how I never really grew up with it, but I had a friend who did, and he got me into it. And I only played a few hours. If you don't remember, that's fine. We can move on.
I don't know. I don't know what I was saying.
Oh, and yeah, here we go again with video games because we're talking about recording.
Yes. Yeah, but yeah, Banjo was like, it's a game that I've gotten to recently. But DK64, like I think this is what I was trying to say. Something that I grew up with. I love all the characters. I was super hyped when they brought Tiny Kong back, you know?
Yeah.
All that stuff. I just really love the game. It was a really good game, and to this day, probably one of my favorites on the N64.
I can certainly agree. Out of the small library I've played in the N64, I can say that's one of my favorites. Even though I have only played a few hours, and I beat the final boss with my friend.
Yeah, the final boss is a lot of fun.
My friend never beat it before, and he was like, I can't beat the part with Chunky. And he's like, how do you do that timing? I'm like, look, it's this easy. We played in like a lagless TV finally, where it was like wasn't an HDMI TV because that causes like some lag for those older games. But like I figured out the timing too, and because I watched Nintendo Capri Sun beat the boss. I'm like, it's easy. Just press B at the right time to punch him, and then we'll ZB to the I forget what it's called. It's like the chimpanzee punch or something like that.
His punch.
Yeah, the unique move. You have to. Yeah, actually, I think you need to buy it too to beat the final boss.
Yeah, you have to use your banana coins or something.
Yeah, it's a great game. I love the upgrade system in that too. How there's like the melons, and my friend never got the third melon. Like we should get the third melon because he wanted to beat the final boss. We ended up not needing it as well. We were like half of a melon over a melon and a half over when we beat the final boss. And he's like, "How'd you do that?" I'm like, well, we just used our combined efforts. It was kind of like a tag team thing. It was like I let him do Diddy's part, then he did Tiny's, then I did DK's, and then so on and so forth. Then I somehow beat Chunky.
Honestly, I want them to remake DK64.
They should.
Or put it on like a for the Switch or something.
Oh yeah, it used to be called Virtual Console. Now it's like I think it'll be called N64 Online.
Yeah, honestly, it's a lot of fun to just play old games like that too, and just get that nostalgic feel of oh, this is a game from my childhood.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, I really want DK64 to come back or at least another game kind of like it, because I just really, really like that game. It was really different. I find myself not liking the more current Donkey Kong games because that one was different and unique, and that's what I liked. And it was just I went to play another Donkey Kong game later. I was like, this is nothing like DK64. I don't like it.
Exactly. Yeah. I've played some of the newer ones. I still need to beat. That's one of the first games I put in my backlog. I got around to not beating games was the Donkey Kong Country Returns 3D on the 3DS.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's more of a 2D DK game though. Has there been really any other 3D Donkey Kong games though besides? Yeah, that's been the only one was DK64.
Yeah, it's like there wasn't as many It's just during the N64 era, they did all these 3D games, and they were all amazing. They had Ocarina of Time, which changed the way Zelda games were forever. We have Mario 64, which ultimately is well known as one of the best Mario games, and also changed the way Mario was played. Then we have DK64, which was different, and then they kind of went back to the old way, which there's nothing wrong with that way, and I'm sure there's plenty of fans who like that. DK64 was just this unique experience, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Even Kirby games kind of changed with the whole 64 thing, you know?
Yeah, Kirby became like a 2.5. I feel like it's almost a little bit more than that, but like it wasn't really a 3D Kirby game. It was like a platformer, but they used 3D models, and it looked pretty good.
It's honestly one of my favorite Kirby games ever. Like, I probably sound like this like old lady, like, oh yeah, I like these old games, and that's it. No, I like other games too, guys. I promise you, I love other Kirby games. And like other Mario. Okay, other Mario games, as in I like Odyssey. That's it. Sorry.
No, I know what you mean. Kirby 64 is a great game. The only problem when I was younger, I just didn't like that game because I played Return to Dreamland first. Then when the Kirby collection came out on the Wii, I was like, is it going to be 4 players too? And then when I played it, I couldn't have my siblings play with me. And then I was like, this is a horrible game. And I played it myself, though. I played it all the way through, but I never actually 100%ed it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Like, and then you think at one point that you beat the game and you haven't beaten it yet. And it's like, it's a lot of fun. It was a really unique and fun experience. And it was honestly my introduction to Kirby.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the great thing about Kirby 64 is like it takes the formula from the first 2 platformers, Dreamland 2, Dreamland 3, and it turns it into like a Dreamland 4. I guess it kind of is because it's 60. It has the 4 in the name, but because it has the special ending where like if you don't get all the collectibles, then it's like it's not over.
Yeah. Like, honestly, one of the, like, and it has some of the most, like, underrated, underloved characters in it, too. Like, yes, we all love DDD and Waddle Dee, but, like, there's, like, what's her name, Adeline?
Yes.
Then the little fairy, I can't think of her name, but she's, like, super cute.
I can't remember it either. It was, like, Adeline and... I probably could put it on screen. I know what you're talking about because they included them as a tag team partner in Star Allies. They brought them back.
I loved that. And then like when somebody made a post the other day and they were like, "Oh, what's a character that you think is really underrated?" And I put like Adeline, and someone was like, "She had her chance." And I was like, "Why are you still talking about it?"
Wow. Yeah, that's what kind of how it goes on the internet.
I'm just like, relax, boy. I said I like her and I think she's kind of underrated, but you know, it's fine.
I think she is. I didn't even know she existed. Like, apparently her first appearance was Dreamland 3, but it was very brief as, like, a boss fight.
She's like, and she's got this really awesome ability of, like, being able to paint things into life. Like, that's cool.
Yeah, and if anything, she based the painter ability, I feel like, that was added to Kirby.
Exactly. It's like, she's an important part of Kirby history, and, like, not as many people knew about her until they put her into, whatever, what game is that?
Kirby Star Allies.
Thank you. I'm like, I should know because Ben makes me play it all the time.
It's alright. It's a great game. I'm really glad they added the update of, like, they had Dark Meta Knight and
that was
Daroche and all these characters. Like, I was a big fan of the Kirby series, and I just freaked out when I saw that. And, like, they had Gooey from Dreamland 3 and all this amazing stuff. And Adeline, of course, as well.
Yeah, it was just, like, it was super cool to see all those characters again. Honestly,
it's just I think that's like that was the best. I have a friend who doesn't like that game. I thought it was great because of the fan service, and normally people like, oh, fan service, you know, it's overdone, they're just doing it to appeal to fans, but like no, it's like it's a swan song for the entire series. I don't think we're gonna see another Kirby game like as like memorable to the series as that one, because like it touched on basically everything. Like maybe like a few things it didn't, but like we had Rick Kind-Kun not appear since like 1990s.
There's like a lot of characters that like just they haven't been seen for years, and like suddenly here they are.
Yeah, they brought him back, and like I agree with you. I think Adeline, you know, that's an underrated character, and like I don't think Star Allies gave enough of a reason to like say they're not underrated anymore. Like they brought him back, that's good, you know, Hal still cares about him, but like they're still underrated because they've only been in a few games.
Exactly. It's like I would love to see her in more games or like interacting with Kirby more. Like it honestly bummed me out that she was never in the series either. Like I grew up watching the series too.
Oh, the Right Back at You anime, like the cartoon anime thing.
Yeah. And like I was always like kind of hoping that she would make an appearance, and I don't think she ever did. Not that I know of anyway. Like, it was like always like one of my saddest childhood things. Like, oh, she was never in the series, and she was like so important to Kirby 64. You know?
Yeah, I remember. I know what you're talking about. I don't think she ever did make an appearance. Although I've only seen up to episode 39 out of the hundreds of episodes. Like they have 100 episodes exactly, and a movie at the end too to finish the series off.
Yeah.
but it mainly covered Dreamland 1, 2, and Adventure for like references to characters and stuff. They really didn't, and they kind of made their own, like, you know, the Cappies. They made them like, you know, they were enemies in the series, but now they're people, like kind of like the Toads.
Really liked that like, and like when I first saw like Cappy like later after I watched the series, and I was like, wait, aren't those supposed to be Kirby's friends?
Yeah, and he's hurting them. I don't know. It's weird, like how when you get into the game, it's kind of like the Pokemon anime. Like, it definitely is comparable. We're like, wait a second, isn't this different in the anime? Why is it like this in the games? And like, you know,
I just, like it makes sense too because Dedede, he's always seen as a bad guy, and like he's supposed to be like the leader. Like he literally is leading the Cappies in the anime.
Yeah.
So it's like it's kind of understandable why they're the enemies, but like also, you know, it's also like Kirby's an outsider and like has befriended all of them too. So it's a little weird, but it's good. Honestly, a good series.
I feel like they did a good job with Meta Knight in there.
Yeah. Meta Knight, honestly, I feel like it's such a, like, looking back, he was kind of strange, but he was a lot of fun and like a good character.
Yeah, like I loved that series. I'm glad I got into it. Like around that was kind of the same thing with 64 for me, and like they had a bit of the episodes from Right Back at You in the Dream Collection on the Wii back in like 2012.
Yeah,
that was cool. And then I went on YouTube, and you know somehow those are still up for some reason, even though they took down the reanimated one. Nintendo.
Oh gosh, that makes me sad.
Yeah.
Honestly, wouldn't doubt though if it was like somebody just being salty and like wasn't even Nintendo.
It's a very big possibility because that's what happened in 2010 with Chugga Conroy, Nintendo Capri Sun, some other YouTubers like Maryland. There was people that were jealous of all the subs, and then they faked being the Pokemon Company. They DMC take down like a bunch of their videos and ended up deleting a bunch of channels.
It happens a lot, and like it's unfortunate because YouTube should be regulating that because it's technically illegal to copyright claim something that isn't your own.
It is. You can get in trouble for that in the United States law. Like YouTube's a United States company, and sure it branched out to other places, but like you're dealing with a United States platform, and people will get you.
It's kind of unfortunate that like this keeps happening, but like there's not much like that YouTube like that. Well, there is a lot that YouTube can do about it, but like there's not much that the creators themselves can do about it.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like YouTube can definitely do something, but like there's too many channels, and YouTube generally doesn't respond, and it just becomes worse and worse of an issue.
Yeah, YouTube. We love you, but we hate you. You know?
The problem about YouTube, though, is like it's the biggest sharing platform for media right now, and the problem is that there's only a few hundred employees there, and only a few hundred doesn't cover the billion that are on this platform. That's nothing.
It's like it's understandable like that they don't have enough, but like also they should be hiring more.
If anything,
You know?
people always say on like social media sites, like they'll make these like fake chainmails saying like if you don't use your account for this long, your account will be deleted. But I don't think somebody's ever done that for really any platform. If anything, YouTube should be the one doing that because like there's so many people on there that nobody can really do anything on there. Like you can't, like the growth is hard to do. You know, copyright claims happen and you can't get rid of them.
Yeah.
It sucks. I've had some copyright issues myself, but they weren't like, well, they were claims, not strikes. But I got upset about them, even though they really weren't that big of a deal. Like I still have some on some videos, but I just ignore them because like it's not worth. Basically, you're going like to a mini court whenever you like dispute them, and it's not really worth it because you can get in like if you fight back and then like the other person makes a move back. Then you can get in like you can get your whole channel deleted if you're not careful. You have like a lawyer and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a whole complicated thing, and honestly, they need to do better for like their content creators and like their viewers alike. But you know, it's this whole ordeal, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Like YouTube, I want to give them some slack. They're doing good things, but like they're doing bad things more than the good because there's just too many people. I want to give them the benefit of the doubt because there's just way too many people on this platform. I'll keep saying it too much, but like, you know, you probably should do something more than support the bigger guys. The little guys matter too.
Yeah, it's like they only care about like the bigger YouTubers, and then they're like they don't even like pay attention to the people with the smaller channels right now, which can be a good thing because you can get away with a lot when you're a smaller channel, but then once you're bigger, you know, then you get in trouble.
Yeah, you have to change your personality pretty much completely.
Yeah, it can be pain, but you know, we're approaching 3 hours.
What's that?
We're approaching 3 hours soon.
Oh yeah, we probably should get close to getting this over.
I'm like, I just looked down. I'm like, it's 3:53.
Jeez. I didn't even. Yeah, it is almost 3 hours because we were at 4.
Yeah.
Before this, I was watching the PS5 reveal, but they didn't even show the console still.
Oh.
They showed all the games, which looked good. There was like this Ratchet and Clank one, but okay, I'm getting off topic. Anyways, the last thing I'll say is it kind of gets into career. What were you saying?
So you can tell me about that later.
Yeah. The last thing, though, this gets into career stuff is like, do you see voice acting as something you can turn into as a career or do something more with for the future?
Actually, yes. I actually really love voice acting. Like, even before I was in Evolution Squad, ever since I was younger, I would like, if I heard a character's voice, I would try to imitate it kind of thing. I feel like that's a common thing with voice actors. Like, they try to imitate other characters' characters' voices. Because, like, they like the way it sounds, or, like, you know, it's just fun to do. Like, I would, when I was younger, I would, we had, like, this sing-along VCR. I don't know how many people know what VCR tapes are.
I do.
I know you do. But, like, I don't know how many people will know. I'm showing my age here.
Yeah, I know. Like, it's kind of weird to think that because, like, not all people are like me, where they know all this old stuff. They mostly care about, like, I don't want to get stereotypical here, but I'm sure they don't really care about what we're talking about. Most of them, anyways.
It's like so. We had like Disney sing-along VCRs, and there was this one particular that was like, the Disney characters took like a bunch of kids camping, and there was another one they went to the beach, and like, they went to like Disneyland, stuff like that. Just fun stuff. And so I would imitate their voices. One of the ones that I got really good at was Minnie Mouse. And I always had a lot of fun pretending to be Minnie Mouse. So it was a lot of fun just to like do that kind of stuff. As I was like looking at Disney, I actually developed like, let me see if I can still do it. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can, but I could do like Rocket Raccoon voice. Let me see.
Okay. Here we go.
No, that's not it. That's not it. It's not there. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. Let's see. It's not gonna come out. It's my other character voices. Another thing that I used to do was I was in a little fandom known as the Homestuck fandom.
Oh.
Oh boy! I don't really do a lot of Homestuck stuff anymore. Not really like as into it as I used to be. And I used to do voices for different characters. Like I wasn't on anyone's like YouTube or anything. But one of the characters was named Tavros, and he would talk like this. And it was a lot of fun just to do this voice. Doesn't hurt. Not at all. Never. I also did one for this character, Nepeta. She has like this kind of kitty voice. She's a kitty cat. She thinks everything is perfect, and this is not a good representation of her because I don't remember her personality that well. Another one. I'm thinking like all the different voices I would do. For Fairy, which is one that I draw from. It's for Fairy, Pfeffery, whatever way you say it. It's actually a very important voice to me, because that one is the one that I kind of draw from for Sylvia. So like, for Pfeff, I go into this really high-pitched voice, and I would talk like this. And it was a lot of fun just to be Pfeff, because I would go, Um, but yeah, so that eventually evolved into I used that voice, and it eventually evolved into like Sylvia's voice. So like now I go like this, and I add a little bit of this to it, and it's Sylvia.
It's kind of funny because that voice, it like fits perfectly with the adaptation that Shiny Mimikyu and Mickey Mario directed for.
Honestly, I was honestly shocked when I heard it. I was like, I can do that voice, because it did remind me a lot of the Pfeffery voice I did.
I mean,
And
it
I was
sounds
like,
really
well,
similar. I
I
can
can
tell.
do Pfeffery's voice, so maybe I can do this. And I often will draw from that, like, different voices that I did. Um, I also, like, I don't know, because, like, there's one, right now we're going to have to, like, do recording for, like, certain things. I gotta record my lines still.
I don't.
Yeah, no, I got a big part. Yay!
Yeah, good luck with that. That's gonna be.
Yeah, I'm honestly excited about it, but like I have to do some different things with Sylvia's voice. It's gonna be a little interesting and a little bit hard, but I know that I can eventually like get something that's gonna sound really cool. Especially like if I start with that bass for like the Fef voice, then go into the Sylvia voice, and then maybe go into like another voice, kind of layer the voices.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the thing about that, I feel like it's gonna be kind of your second character adaptation for like official voice work when that part comes around.
Yeah, it's like it's gonna be, I don't know, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
It will be a lot of fun. Like, I'm looking forward to it because, oh man, I really like your voice. I'm glad a lot of people like your voice as well. And
I
Guy's
know,
voice.
I've seen that. I'm like, you guys are all so nice. I really don't like. I'm not gonna say I don't like my voice. I'm just gonna hit my mic again. I'm not gonna say I don't like my voice because I don't hate it. Like, it's just like it's weird to hear people say they like your voice. You know?
Yeah, like you think your voice sucks, and that's I guess like they always say the own artist is the greatest critique they generally say, but like I feel like it's nice to see people liking your voice because it really just shows that somebody who was a nobody can become a somebody, and it really just gives a good self-esteem boost for somebody, and you can also relate to the fans too and say thank you, and then the fans will be happy that you're appreciating their compliments.
Honestly, like everybody who's like been super supportive and nice, I want to personally like just thank all of you because this is like something that I normally wouldn't like audition for, and it was like a long shot to me. Like I wasn't sure that I would even do it, and like honestly, I'm just glad I did. And you guys are all so great, and I love you all. All are amazing.
Now I feel guilty that I have to say the same thing. No, I've said it many times before. I made a freaking word on it. I don't think I'll at least say you got. I'll just say what Icy said.
Yes. I'm sorry, I put you on the spot.
No. I'm putting you on the spot the entire time, if anything. Or we both are, because we're just talking about video games nonstop, as you said, and we just end up like talking for 3 hours now.
Talking off on a tangent about some other thing.
Right.
Yeah, I have a lot of fun doing voices and voice acting, and it is something that I wish, to audition for more things and like try to continue to do in the future because it's a lot of fun and really nice, and it's kind of cool to like see somebody be like, oh hey, I know you as this character, and I really like your character, and I like the voice work you do for this character, like this whole other thing.
Right. Because people sort of appreciate just kind of who you are. It really kind of reminds you of like going back to Disney a little bit. Like it's like the people who voice those characters well, like Goofy, Mickey, movies in general from Disney, whether it be like I don't know Monsters Inc. or Incredibles. I'm thinking off the top of my head. All those people that like they know those stars, and some of those stars they do other work besides with Disney, but like it's kind of cool because like Evolution Squad's a cool start for like a lot of people with great voices, and I'm sure they can do a lot of great things. I mean, there's some voice actors that actually are part of Evolution Squad that they do like a ton of stuff. Like Iris Dragon, I was saying about like she was from Japan. She does a lot of stuff, and she's really encouraging apparently in the voice acting community.
Honestly, there's a lot of talented people on this project. And like I'm honestly so grateful to be a part of it because you guys are just all great.
Yeah, that's the nice thing. Whether it brings like all the fans as well, the great fans, it also brings amazing talent here too. And a lot of people say they like it as well. Like I've heard some professional voice actors say like, "Oh, Evolution Squad's it's a high quality project. It definitely needs to be moved along a little bit more, I'm sure." people can agree. But the thing is, like, I guess I'll answer that a little bit here since I'm on that topic. Is like, eventually there will be a point of where like Mickey Mario makes so many dubs that PKM will have to make the comics because he'll catch up with it. And PKM's like, I think only halfway done with the entire comic. So once he catches up, then Mickey Mario's have to do his other stuff that he has on plan, which I don't even know if he ever released it public that he'll be doing those eventually. But I guess I'll keep that a secret.
Yeah.
It's nothing to do with the Evolution
He's got
Squad.
his plans. I don't know what they are either, but he's got his plans.
Yeah. I guess if you don't know, then I'm guessing maybe it was public at one point. He never made a trailer with it, but like, it's a lot of it's private stuff. But like, I'm not a part of it, that's for sure. I just know it's there. It's been there for 3 years almost, actually.
Wow.
But apparently, like, there's some not really legal spiel, but it's more like the person who works on the project with him is like, oh, I'm going to redo everything. So that's been delayed. So really, all he has is the Evolution Squad right now.
Evolution Squad. Yeah.
Which is great. It is nice to see it still going along, and like the fan base is just so like, oh, where is it? Where is it? You know, they really want to get into it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just heard like a door shut. I thought somebody was here.
Oh, it's probably just the...
Sorry, you were saying?
It was probably just the wind.
Yeah, it is a pretty windy day. It was yesterday. I don't know about you, but like there was like a monsoon, it felt like, that hit the area recently.
It was a couple days ago. We had like I don't know if you ever heard of like, I don't know, because like I don't know what other states do, like what other states call their winds, but we have like the Santa Ana winds, and they're like insane and can be really wild winds and painful.
What are they called?
The Santa Anas.
I've never heard of those, in all honesty. So, if anything, we just call it high winds.
Yeah, we call them the Santa Ana winds. They're annoying. I like the wind, but
yeah, I mean, there was some big winds recently, like yesterday here. It was like it felt like there was a lot of damage. Power was out. Surprisingly, my power wasn't out. Normally it is, it was a nasty storm. It was going on for like a good hour. Like it was like real windy, like hurricane or something, even though the closest water to me, body of water, is like 30 minutes away, but like it was more like tornado weather. And surprisingly, we had minor damage, but like my town had some pretty decent damage that we don't normally get those kind of winds because like we're more like the plains area, and you don't really normally get that kind of stuff in like, you know, Kansas.
Yeah, I don't know that because like we don't ever have to worry about tornadoes here. We have too many mountains. Especially in SoCal, we're like, nah. But, and that's why I like California, I guess, because we don't have to worry about like extreme like usually we don't have to worry about tropical storms as much, and we don't have to worry about tornadoes or anything like that. We just worry about earthquakes. Even that, it's not that bad.
You know, my area does get earthquakes, but they're very, very small.
Honestly, people get here and they experience their first California earthquake, and it's kind of funny to watch.
What is it like? Like, is it? I've never really experienced a bad one, but like, is it like you're on a ride basically in an amusement park?
So we recently had a pretty strong one, and it was like, I don't know if you ever seen like cartoons how like the ground rolls.
Yes.
Yeah, that kind of actually happens.
Oh, jeez.
It's like, that was a really bad one though. Like, we rarely have those.
Do you get like fissures open up at all in the ground?
Sometimes it depends. Like, it just depends on how strong the earthquake is and where it is. If it's like, because we have a fault line here, the San Andreas, I believe.
Oh wow.
And so we get earthquakes all the time because like SoCal's really like close to that. It's a ways away from us, but like we get earthquakes all the time because we're near that fault line. And trying to think. Brain's like focus.
It's all right.
But we have earthquakes all the time, and like most of the time they're just like subtle little bit of shaking. At least they're small to us. I guess to other people, like, they might be kind of scary.
Right.
I don't know how strong an earthquake is, like, where you are.
Well, I had a 1.0. I felt one before, but like I don't think nobody noticed. It might have even been smaller than that, but like it was weird because the classroom was shaking and like my pencil fell off my desk and nobody noticed. Like nobody gave it was like a weird moment. Like it was like one of those things like only I noticed it. And apparently the highest that's been recorded, I could be wrong about this, in Ohio was a 5.0, but that was like southern Ohio, and I'm in the northern part, so I've only felt like a few, and they're like, it's a very minor tremor. Like it's just kind of like, I don't even know how to, it's like the most minor like pushing you can get out of
I feel like for the most part that's what happens with us, is like we just get minor ones. I think like the highest we felt like here is maybe a 3.0, like here. But like I'm not sure. Like don't quote me on that. I'm not sure. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I know my parents have experienced them, but like they're really rare here. I think the last time I felt one was like 2016, like late 2016.
Yeah, we get some pretty bad ones sometimes. But,
What's
like,
the
it's
highest
so
you
funny.
felt?
Huh?
What was the highest you felt?
Probably that one that was like a few months back. I don't know, cause like I think I posted about it, cause like it was all over the news that California had like a big earthquake.
Oh yeah.
I think that one was probably the worst one. Like I said, that was the one that like the ground was kind of rolling. I had never really experienced that before. It was kind of scary, but it was also kind of like fun. And like since I was used to earthquakes, it wasn't like super scary. But like, I don't know. Like, there's just like people always say like California, when you get there and like you feel an earthquake for the first time, it's like really scary. And I'm like, I guess it's because I'm used to it that it's not scary to me. But like, they're not that bad.
I don't think they'd be that bad, but I would need to experience it firsthand.
Yeah. We're in California.
I've only been there once. I think I said that to you. It was like for a plane layover.
Yeah.
My family loves to travel, and I think that's probably the least out of any state, because it's really far away compared to where I live. Like I'm almost on the other side of, like a few states over, I'd be on the complete eastern shore. Compared to you're in the western.
The west over here, we are the state known for like surfing and chill. And
Yeah. There's a song, California, USA.
Honestly, I'll tell you right now, nobody here in California really cares about those stereotypes because like they're true and we all know it.
Yeah.
Even when I talk, here's one of my like biggest things is like when we talk, you can hear me. I say like a lot.
I mean, I say that a lot too.
But like, people say, "Oh, that's a Valley Girl thing." I'm not from like that area. It's just a thing I do. I'm pretty sure it's like, I don't know how to explain it.
It depends on where you come from. It's like an accent, I guess you could say.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. It's super weird.
Like,
and,
like a good example people like I can think of is like Texas. That's like the most prominent one I could think of.
a lot of the stereotypes about California are pretty true. Like, not gonna lie. Some of them are extreme, but other ones are like, yeah, that's the truth.
Yeah, I mean, California's an interesting state. I guess funny we're bringing this up, but I haven't even brought this up. I've said before on stream, but not on here. Who knows if anyone watches those streams, like later on. But a lot of the voice actors are from there. Maybe I shouldn't say that, but they've brought it up before. They said they were from California, so I think it's a kind of a canon thing. You brought it up too, so like I'm gonna say like 3 or 4 of the main voice actors are from there.
I don't mind saying it because like it literally like I said, California's a big state, so it's kind of hard to like pinpoint one person in California.
It's like isn't it the second biggest state? I said steak. No, state.
Yeah. Basically, we a big state.
Yeah.
And then you also have like North, Central, and SoCal.
Right.
It's like it's basically like 3 different states, kind of, but it's not.
Ugh. Kind of like Hawaii, how it's broken into a bunch of different islands.
Yeah, it's like one place, but it's different. Like if you visit California, there's 3 very different like cultures, kind of.
Isn't there an area below that's part of Mexico that's California?
Yeah, it's not really California, but like it's considered, I guess. It's Can't think of what it's called.
It's like, I could be butchering this. It's like Baja.
Oh, Baja California.
Baja. Okay, I'm sorry. I haven't taken Spanish in years.
It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
If that even is
like,
Spanish, I'm sure it is.
I don't speak Spanish myself. People often think I do, but I don't. I don't know any Spanish other than like basic.
I didn't have a good teacher anyways, so.
I don't know.
I was required to learn it, and well, my parents said I was required, but I never used it in college.
I feel that. I took Japanese when I was in.
I wish I took Japanese or German.
I don't remember very much of it, and it's sad because I really like the language.
You know, that's a mood, because I feel like it's kind of the same thing for Spanish for me. Like, my first year, I learned a lot. Second year, I felt like I didn't want to be there, and now I don't even know it.
Yeah.
I talked to a Spanish speaker, and I tried to make a sentence, like, what I remembered, and they're like, you butchered that pretty badly. I'm like, no wonder I got laughed at a lot in the class.
I'm sorry, I tried.
Yeah. I would love to go to Japan someday, because that's like, you know, where all the media comes from for Nintendo, and, you know, the likability of video games, basically. Japan.
Just visit and like, but like I want to be as respectful about it as possible, because you know there's still a people and a culture there, and I don't want to like disrupt people, you know, be that like annoying American tourist.
Yeah, it's funny because, like, you know, backing up from just California stereotypes, there's American stereotypes, and we're both from America, so.
Like, I'm sure people will be like, oh, well, of course they want to visit Japan. Weeboos. It's like, but it's like, yeah, I do want to visit Japan because I respect the culture and the people and I want to see it. You know?
Right.
It's like, I've learned a lot beyond, like, anime. And I want to see the culture and the people. And, like, honestly, I just want to visit other places and see different people, how different people live. Because it's just interesting to me. And, like, there's like so many different ways that people exist on this planet, and it's really cool, you know. It
is, because there's like how many countries and cities and out there and towns and villages, and you just really boil it down. There's just so many different ways people live, and they aspire, many different dreams and aspects of them. That's one of the beauties of this world that I feel like people take for granted, that like they more so worry about the bad than the good.
Yeah. Like there's a lot of bad going on right now, and it kind of sucks. But I hope.
I don't want to say I try to ignore it, because then people will get mad at me for saying I'm ignoring it, because that's one thing. But I'm gonna get out of that controversial area, because that's what I don't want to talk about.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of like interesting things like that people do, and a lot of interesting cultures. And honestly, I feel like if people just took the time to learn about other cultures, things would be a little bit, you know, easier.
I mean, I certainly did recently, and I felt like, I personally feel like that, you know, I understand them more. Like the area I come from is, like, people tend to, I don't want to say like the stereotypical thing, like Americans like tend to, you know, they don't like the outside. The area I definitely come from, it's mixed. Like, it's definitely a mixed bag, and I know people in my area that, like, you know, they only can be who they are right now, and they can't be anything else. They don't want to learn about anyone else, and they can be a little heated too. And I try to stop them from being heated if it's someone I know. I'm like, you know, let's go. We got better things to worry about right now. We're on a job or something, or, you know, school work. You know, better to think about that than whatever you're thinking about.
Yeah, like I know that here in California, there's like a lot of different people, like a lot of different like cultures. Just like in LA alone, there's like I don't know how many different cultures. Just like in the city, there's like many cities inside the city that are like different cultures. Like there's a little Tokyo, there's a little Italy, you know. There's also like a bunch of like communities, just like different cultures, and like they're really really cool, and it's fun to learn from people. You know,
kind of reminds you of Epcot. I'm bringing that up again.
Yeah, kinda.
That's what I liked Epcot, because it's like there's so many different things you can get there. Like you can explore a mini world basically of just like, and it's so accurate, like Germany, and then, you know, like Dutch, Netherlands, which is the same thing. You know, Mexico, I already said Japan, Asia with China, all the different areas in Asia like Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, or Cambodia. A lot of those places probably people have never even heard of, if they're younger viewers, anyways.
Yeah, it's like get out there and learn something about another culture because you never know. You could learn something important.
Yeah, there's just great aspects of the world. I just feel like people need to be a bit more open and not exactly closed on something like it's different. I'm not. It's kind of like how I feel like with video games with like culture is like I used to be like that stubborn kid who was like I'm only playing Mario and maybe a little bit of Pokemon and then that's it.
Yeah, I agree with that too. Like I'm kind of like that too with certain games. Like, I don't want to play this game because I am stubborn and don't want to play. Like, for the longest time, I wouldn't pick up any PlayStation games because I was like, I only want to play Nintendo games.
And Xbox.
Yeah, like, I still won't play Xbox, and that's just because I don't like the console. I started playing, like, another game and, like, PC games, actually. I started playing PC games, started playing like Minecraft, started playing TF2, and the next thing I knew, it was like, oh, this is fun. There's games with like on other consoles that are like a lot of fun, or like Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
I wouldn't play Kingdom Hearts like if I hadn't like stopped being stubborn.
Yeah, same thing for me. Eventually, like, I branched out. It used to be just Mario, but when I got into Smash Brothers, like, all these Nintendo characters, they're similar like Mario because they're from the same company, so I gotta play them. And then, like, eventually Smash Brothers started getting, like, Snake and Sonic and, all the, like, Persona and then, Square Enix characters and all this stuff. And, like, maybe other video games aren't that bad. And I started to branch out into a bunch of stuff that isn't even related to Smash Brothers whatsoever.
Yeah. Like, I remember when Snake got announced, and I was like, I don't like that. It's like really like.
I can agree. I feel like I did the same thing too with other characters. Like I don't like that.
Yeah, like I was like I don't like that. It's weird. Why is this like Sonic is cool, but like why is this other character here? I don't know who this is. But like after going in and learning about Metal Gear and like all that, I was like, well, this is an interesting story. I still don't play the games personally, but like I have my favorite characters,
Right.
Watch them play. I have my favorite characters.
I would like to get into that series. I guess it's a spin-off. It's Metal Gear Rising Revengeance because it's very different from the main series. Because I like the music from that game, and I only really bought it on Steam because of that reason. But I would like to get into it because I know it's kind of big on PlayStation, but not really anymore because of I forget his name. He basically left, Konami, and Konami's going through the dictatorship. I feel like, as much as I don't want to brand them that, is like they're preventing their workers from making the games they like.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing over there. I hope they get it together.
I mean, and then like I can't even remember this other guy's name. The guy who made Castlevania, the Metroidvania Castlevania. And he left and he made Bloodstain recently now, the guy who made Metal Gear. He made I can't remember the game that's just like it. Do you remember it? It's on PlayStation.
I think I know what you're talking about. Like, I haven't really followed a lot of stuff lately with Kojima.
Death Stranding. That's it.
Oh yeah.
The guy who made Metal Gear made that, and he made a deal with Sony to make that only on PlayStation, I think, for now, because he wanted to get back in the scene, and Konami was robbing him of the creative talents and stuff. But I know, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
About like the only one system, one game. That's it.
Yeah. Like even when I even found myself like being stupid with Byleth in Smash. Like everybody was like so annoyed that it was another Fire Emblem character, but then like I don't know, like Byleth, is a really unique Fire Emblem character. Like they're just both super different from like the other characters that got put into Smash.
Right, exactly. Like I honestly, I'll be honest, I was a little upset Byleth was in because when I saw the reveal, it was like 8 a.m. and I had no sleep and it was a college game. Like, all right, I'm closing my laptop. I'm going in now. I'm disappointed. And I was like, but eventually I came to like the character. Like the design's great, but I've never really played Three Houses. I own it, but
Watched Wii
Yeah.
Monkey 2 play it.
yeah, I kind of want to play games nowadays, but YouTube's gotten me lazy. And I know I've seen your Twitter. It's kind of the same thing with you too, where YouTube makes you lazy. You just kind
I'm
of
just like,
only do that.
Yeah.
And then Animal Crossing, that's really it.
Oh my god, I have to get on today still.
I do too. I missed turnip prices on noon because I slept through noon. Because I don't know, just quarantine screwing up my sleep again. For once, I woke up at a good time yesterday, but then a storm hit and I fell back asleep because it made me drained.
I
But
feel that.
yeah, like I need to do Animal Crossing too, and it's just the game's so time consuming. And oh man, we should probably talk about this stuff off the
Honestly.
yeah, we're just like not even. I should make this a podcast really, because that's kind of what happened with a lot of the people I interview. Is like I end up just feeling about you and I now. If this is perfect, where we just talk about any subject under the book that is on our mind.
Yes, we just start talking and just chill, you know.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, we really answer all the questions. I mean, we could end it here. I think probably would be for the best, unless you have more to
Yeah.
talk about.
I can't think of anything. I'll probably think of something like way later. Be like, oh, I should have said that.
I mean, there could always be a part 2.
Yeah, there could be.
Or maybe a part 5, depending on if I decide to split this up into multiple parts.
Let's go.
Yeah, but really I was touching on, whether you see it as a career. I don't even remember. I don't even remember the answer compared to like the 40 minutes of what we created that in.
Yeah, I was talking about like how I really like love voice acting and how I've been doing a lot of stuff since I was younger and just doing silly voices.
With the karaoke VCR thing.
Yeah, it was the sing-along songs.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember those?
I think I remember that was one of the things I wanted as a kid, but my parents were like, "Are you insane? That is so much money. You can get something for your birthday later on that is much cheaper." I'm like, "Oh, well, I don't know." As a kid, I wouldn't really say I was more sheltered because I had an understanding of the older stuff. It was more so I was like restricted, probably more restricted than the average kid. Probably like the stereotype, like, no, you're not having this, no, you're not having that. But when I did actually get the chance to actually, like, get the stuff I wanted, it was like the best time of my life. Like nowadays, though, my parents don't really restrict me because they understand, like, I'm a 20-year-old, job,
Yeah.
hobbies, school, college that's coming back in 5 days.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Yeah, like I don't know, like I feel like my parents are still like super protective of me, even though I'm like an adult. But like they also know, like, hey, you're an adult, you should be able to do things on your own.
I mean, they still
Fine.
are for me too, really, for like being protective and stuff like that. But like, it's more so I can definitely tell they let loose a lot more.
Yeah.
But it's understandable.
Yeah, it's understandable. It's fine. Don't worry. About
It's all good. We're all, we're just one happy family. Or yes, it should be.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess we should probably go ahead and end it off there because like,
Probably. We've been talking for basically 3 hours at this point. It's already 26.
yep, 7:26 for me.
Yep.
I can already see
Okay.
the sunset from my window. No.
Oh, I didn't mean to keep you that
No,
long.
it's okay. I mean, it doesn't really get completely dark until 10 around here anyways.
Yeah.
It's just like, it starts to become an early sunset.
Yeah.
It's hard to describe, but I don't know, my area is weird with like the time zones. At least we're not in Alaska where it's like day forever.
Yeah.
But
like it.
before we get another subject, yeah, let's probably end it here. But thank you so much, Icy, for being here with me. I appreciate it. Somehow I still have all the energy to make that ending at the end after I was talking, but probably because you synergized with me pretty well with all the great topics and stuff we didn't even... I'm glad we went off topic because I felt like this was the smallest list I made compared to anybody. I mean, I don't remember all my old lists, but I just personally I felt like for questions. And I'm glad, I guess it was good ahead of time you prepared, but like, you knew so much stuff, like... just to talk about. I don't even think you needed to prepare.
Honestly, it was a lot of fun. I'm glad you asked me to do this.
I'm glad as well because like you're definitely like a unique talent. I know there's like billions of people out there, but like I'm just glad I could at least bring you to light because you're part of Evolution Squad. People probably don't know a whole lot about you, and she's a Twitter. Go follow it. She's closing on I think 200 followers from last I saw.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I'm almost 300. I've been waiting for a while, but like,
I didn't really pay attention to it because like that's my Twitter, and then like I have my art Twitter, which is one I pay more attention to. So.
But I guess we'll end it off there then. Thank you so much, Icy, for being here. A lot of stuff to talk about.
Thank you for having me. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you all for sitting through this, I think 4 hours close. All right. Well, we'll end it off there then. So thank you so much once again, and steal yourself. Bye-bye, guys.